Exciting times for Two Loose Cannons Nation. We're back for another year. Signed on. You'll see us every week. So keep tuning in on a weekly basis. Almost a daily. You could almost do daily, but you'd probably get sick of us. I'm Liam.
I'm Ross.
So reverse of fortunes this week, hey?
Absolutely.
You guys got over the line and the Crows got done.
Yeah.
So we started last week with the positive. So you roll first with positive.
Well, look, I don't know. They did what they had to do. It was a good win. Unfortunately, we lose Rosie for what's going to end up being probably 3 months. So it is what it is. I mean, injuries happen in footy. At least it's not for the rest of the year, I guess. But no, I thought they were very good for 3 quarters. You could see that once Rosie got injured, which was late in the third, and then we lost, what's his name? Miles Bergman, sorry. They were lost in the midfield, but the rotations just weren't working. They were throwing guys in there. Probably
it's a hot day too.
And it was, I was going to say, the other thing was it was hot, and Essendon didn't try for 3 quarters, so they just, got the momentum, kicked whatever it was, 3 in a row. Looked good. Looked like, we were going to end up winning by probably 5 instead of 12. At one point, we were up by 13, and everybody was groaning, but, you're spot on. It was a hot day. We lost a couple of key players, and they were runners too, not and
at some stage, Essendon were going to have to show a bit of spine.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, if they're worth a grain of salt, a packet of burnt chips, you got to put in at least one supporters effort. And they were diabolical.
They were diabolical. And then, you said you were impressed by their game against Hawthorn, was it?
Not so much impressed,
but you thought there was a good
effort. They played okay,
I think you might have said something
on
social media. I can't recall what it was. Something about
4 goals.
By 4 goals. You're only 14 goals out, mate. So you were close. 14 and a half goals out. So,
I've got the 4 part right. So it's close.
Didn't catch much stiff for that, did you? Not too much stuff came back your way.
Shut down my inboxes, my friend. Shut down my inboxes. Said that's enough, mate. I got reminded by every Tom, Dick, and Harry who's a Port supporter, or even not. Neutrals.
Yeah, neutrals.
They want to go. That's the fun of it.
Someone might have even said to the ladder, which had Port sitting on the cross.
Who would have done that, eh? You're not one to get carried away with ladders.
I was waiting all game to send you that. I was just thought, this is fantastic.
You should have went early with it.
Well, if I did, we were like 100. I think the percentage when I looked at it was about 112. We were that high. Like we went from something like 59 to 112 at one point, and then we ended up at about 109, I think it was. So anyway, as far as the game went, it was good. I sat there, I enjoyed it. It's a good game to watch. They look good, but this was the West Coast game all over again. They look good, and so they're going to have to come out and back it up next week. Now, thank goodness it's West Coast, and I say that not because I think West Coast are a bad team. I just think if we had someone decent who's going to be vying for finals, so say we had the Bulldogs, would be cool.
And you know what? It could be like the Kangaroos played okay against you guys, and then they fronted up this week. Didn't have that same sort of hunger, did they?
That's right, they did.
And so West Coast got that win last week. On the weekend. They'll cut. It's over here. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah, you'll smash by 10 goals.
Yeah. Look, I'd be happy just to walk away with the win. They're going to have to make some adjustments. They have got some. Obviously, Bergman's been ruled out for at least 1 week, and we're not going to see Rosie for 3 months. So,
but then this is Francis may be playing more midfield minutes.
And he'll have to. And that was the road. Well, he was one of the rotations. We spent more time in the middle. Yeah, threw Bergman in for a couple of, centre bouncers. Drew had extra minutes. You could see he was really tired. You could see Butters was getting a bit ragged towards the end because he probably had to spend a bit more time in the middle.
But like Horn Francis, who couldn't, he was so bad against North.
Oh, he was, but he had mates.
But he was coming off injury,
foot injury.
Yeah, so he found his touch. I thought he was a lot more lively.
Yeah, I reckon I could have kicked 3.
You could have.
They were so loose. Essendon was so loose. It was just shocking to see how much space.
You were at the ground, on TV. It just looked like every time you got ball in hand. Yeah. You had players where you wanted them, and there was no SCM players.
No, it was nothing. And when it went to their forward line, we were 2-on-1s, we were 3-on-1s, we were 3-on-2s. They just seemed to be kicking to Lear and Radigalia and Marshall.
And when you play like that, it almost seems like there's an extra player in the game for you guys.
Yeah.
And it's not the case. It's just bloody, you got one side working hard and the other side not.
And I'm not getting carried away. The opponent, I don't think, was up for it.
Yeah.
But still, it's good to get a win on the ball. You want to get there. Curry gets his first win.
Well, let's say you drop this week. The amount of pressure that would be heaped on Carr.
Yeah.
Dropping North, dropping Essendon.
Yeah. Teams that you would have thought you would have beat.
Yeah. They were penciled in the wins.
That's right. Definitely.
So you can see that relief, the pressure had pulled by the way you're playing after that first quarter in particular.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed to just flow on, and you played a lot more loose in terms of freer.
Yeah.
There wasn't that tenseness that I saw the week before when you're chasing the game against North.
And again, watching that game against North, I do admit, I only watched the first half, and then I thought, this. They weren't there. You could just see they weren't switched on. This week, they obviously were very switched on. So
I've said before, you don't know what happens in the club. Were they carrying? There's a COVID's gone around.
Yeah,
the flu. You don't know.
Yeah,
and then if you guys come out and went, we had 4 flu players that coming back from the flu. What does that look like?
Yeah,
you're making excuses. So you never know.
So you never know. You're right. You never know. Your game, I watched it all. Did you?
Yeah, and look, I've talked to plenty of Crows supporting friends, and it's interesting. They all take the same attitude I had last year of the positivity. I'm not as positive. I'm really not, because it's more of the same shit from last year. So, yeah, margin flatters the Crows enormously.
In the end.
A goal loss. But you've got to see it from the perspective of it's the same thing that you saw in the back end of last year where the midfield just got smoked.
Yeah.
Absolutely smoked. And Berry comes out yesterday and says, it's armchair expert. So blokes like us having a chat around with what we've observed.
Fair enough.
What I saw was, because he reeled off all the players that ran through midfield. Dawson, Rankin, Shelley. None of them were clean below their knees. None of them. You got the Bulldogs players that were mopping up more.
That's right. They were very good, the Bulldogs. But for a half, I must admit.
But the thing was, when the game was there to be won,
Yeah.
Who was it that took the ball from the middle? Bontempelli, Richards, Liberatore. So none of the Crows players had Liam.
Yeah.
So that's the part where, because the argument goes, well, you look at the stats, they weren't that much worse than Bulldogs midfield. But when the game was there to be won, who won it?
Yeah.
That's where the problem lies. So don't look at just pure raw numbers. Look at game impact, optics.
Yeah.
What are you watching? What are you seeing?
From the guys I spoke to, and as you well know where I live, there's a lot of guys who support the Crows. Mm-hmm. They all said they thought the right team won.
Yeah.
So that tells me a lot about how they felt about that game.
Yeah.
You would have been, and look, I know wouldn't have begrudged you if you pinched it, because they look like they stopped the Bulldogs, and you guys just bang. So, and it's good to know that, and you can go back to that and say, hey, look how we played in that, especially that third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter. If you're behind, you can use that to say, come on, boys,
of course
we can do this. So that's a positive.
They did that again. So you saw it was almost carbon copy for the Collingwood game. So very slow, stagnant in the first half. Now,
go bang.
Ball movement was great in the third quarter as well. They didn't get the rewards for it, so they kicked 3-5 or 3-6 or something, and it was enormously better.
Yeah,
and that flowed into last quarter, and they got the rewards for it. But what are they covering for? So apparently Nick's come out and said that it wasn't their intention to play slow like that. I'm calling bullshit on it. I think what they're doing is this is tactic. Yeah, this is strategically designed to cover the carrying so many players under, first of all, undercooked, but also under an injury cloud. Injury cloud,
maybe.
Yeah.
So look, I also think he looked at last year, and you guys were just full on accelerated down for 4 quarters in most of the games.
Yeah,
and it cost you late in the year. Now, one thing Ken did when we were doing that, when we were coming out and we were just full on in the early 2010s, 13, 14, 15, he slowed it down. And we did exactly what you blokes were doing on the weekend. We'd come out, first 2 quarters, we'd take it easy, nice and slow, keep it close, and then after half time, just go back. Now that's great if it works. It's not so good if you play a team like the Bulldogs who get on a roll and end up being 6 goals up at half time.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you've got to be careful of, because then it does become, oh my shit, you've got to now absolutely floor it. And by the time you've done that, you've spent it all, and you give the other team an opportunity to come back.
Yeah.
Now it's early, doesn't mean anything.
Look, yeah, and they're like,
it's not going to be.
so I wasn't concerned that they dropped.
No, I mean you didn't drop a game to like North Melbourne or like we did.
No.
So
but what is concerning is the fitness and Karen. But there are so many people underdone. But we spoke about it before the season started. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So what are we doing? Some of these blokes can be on the training track building that fitness up and giving some of the young kids a go, because at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. So they lost playing those players. If they named the kids and let the players that are under an injured clown build up away from the game, still lost. Like, you're giving yourself a better shot by playing some of the youth that are fit.
Yeah.
Because playing that way, it's not going to cut it. It's really, we got lucky in the sense that we come back into it, but scoreline flooded. Yeah, flooded.
So let me ask you a question, Archie. How concerned are you? It's his second one, isn't it? Didn't he get?
I'm not concerned at all. Not concerned.
So you're not concerned. He's done one in pre-season. He's now done the second one in game 2, and you're not concerned at all.
No. I'm more concerned about the coaching and naming him. First of all, he's one of those underdone players. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, when's this going to happen to Sligo? When's this going to happen to Cumming? When's this going to happen to Peatling? All those blokes that I've just named there, they're not nearly as good a players as what they were last year when they're fully fit. Cumming can't hit a target.
Yeah, and that comes with
fitness. Yeah. He's kicking under fatigue.
So this now makes 11 hamstrings you've had since the beginning of pre-season training.
Yeah.
That's concerning at all?
Not really, because we spoke about this last year and Burgess.
Okay.
The Burgess effect. And it comes eventually. It's growing pains, unfortunately. We've transitioned over to a new fitness coach. You're going to have some changes.
Fair enough. I'd be very concerned if it was my club and we'd already had 11 hamstrings.
Not yet. No. But it's competition-wide.
No. I'm talking about your teams, 11.
Yeah, I know, but I look at Rosie's done a hamstring. We just spoke about Rosie tearing it off the tendon.
Well, that's that was a hyperextension. That wasn't him just running along,
true,
trying to run someone.
But I look across the board. I'm not concerned that it's happening. What's going to happen is the AFL is going to discuss this probably at the end of the year when they get more data.
Yeah,
is it time now? Because this is a good time to talk about it. Do you think that they'll loosen the cap a bit? None of the 75 rotations. So the whole point of that being brought in was to quicken the game up.
Yeah.
Now the game is never more. Well, it's at the quickest it's ever been.
Yeah.
Are we going to start seeing that loosen up? Do they take that cap away completely?
No, I don't think so.
Because I think if you remove that cap away completely, you're still going to find it difficult to defend. But you can't have your best players missing hands.
See, the thing is with what's happening is it's the way they're being trained, because they want them. They're going to say, "You've got 5 minutes, so we want you to go flat out for 5 minutes." Right now, if you loosen that rotation, they're now going to come to you and say, "You've got 7 minutes. You're going to have to go flat out for 7 minutes or 8 minutes." So I don't think so, because they want that player at optimum speed, going as hard and as fast as he can, but all that time he's on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you come off, you have your rest, you might be off for 5, you go back out, you repeat. So no, I don't see this changing at all, because it's not the fatigue in the legs that's causing it. It's the clubs forcing these players to go flat out for shorter periods of time. And that's what's causing it.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. So I don't think the clubs are going to be turning around and going, "No, you can go slower now because we've got more rotations."
Yeah. Look, I think because there's going to be enough chat about this. This isn't just a Crows thing. I think this is a League One thing that there will be some chatter about it. And if there's more it would be interesting to see when we get deeper into the season, how many hamstrings are pinging. Okay. Because I think if we get to, say, round 13, 14, 15, when everyone is well conditioned, if they're still pinging hamstrings, then it will definitely be changed.
And I got that the wrong way around. Obviously, they're asking them to go for 7 minutes of flat out, but with more rotations, like we're saying, come off after 5, rather than 7. But they'll still be saying to them, go flat out.
Yeah. But I don't want this to escape the big story. Okay.
Well,
And that is how high IQ the Crows Football
cheating.
Club and their supporters are.
I'm sorry, it's cheating.
Ben, so we're talking about Ben Keats instructing a fan to hold on to that ball. Now that fan was absolutely brilliant.
Cheating.
Did his job because he took the ball away, held it, and then he looked like he was going to give it back.
I love that. The way he went to get to him and then...
You know what that was? That was clever because it bought a couple more seconds.
It did. It honestly...
Now, look.
It's not something, and I said, and as soon as I saw it, I sent you a message. I said, I do not want to see this creep into the game.
It's
I
not.
think it's bad. It's a bad law.
And the AFL's already
don't want to see
said
that happen.
If that happens again, then there's going to be,
And a couple of the blokes, some of them thought it was like you, they thought it was really good, smart. And a few of the close supporters I met said, yeah, we looked at it, it looked funny, but no, I don't want to see that.
But the thing is, I hope those supporters that said no, they're the type that's going to go, you know what, if that was me, I'll do it. Because if I'm sitting in the crowd and that I'm doing it.
You don't want any sort of crowd participation like that at all.
No, and look, it's one of those things. It might happen
because
again.
Once you start letting the crowd think that they can get involved in the game, it only takes one bloke to think he's got the right to come over the fence. And and people go, "Oh, you're making a switch." No, I'm not, because it happens in other sports. Things like like we see the. Could you imagine the guy who has the balls for the kick-ins after the point? Now that's the home teams supply those guys that sit behind the goals. They're a club official.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them looking up and going, "Oh, we're not set up defensively. I'm not going to give him the ball," like they do in soccer. Sometimes those ball boys hang on to the ball or give it to the home team really quick, or hang on to the ball until the home team settles. But that's what I don't want to see, mate. The game is the game. You can't be messing with the game. It's funny in soccer because they're kids, and you sort of think, "Oh, yeah, smart kid." If that was an adult, I'd be going, "Mate, just give him the ball. Stop acting like a wanker." Seriously, I would. And now, can you imagine the guy behind the goals not wanting to give you guys the ball because he sees the Bulldogs, he's a Bulldog supporter and thinks, "Oh, we're not set up. I'm not going to give him the ball until I see a couple of more players come down and defend."
Yeah.
So you can't have that creeping into the game. And then you can't have the audience participation either. That just leads to
I'm glad that it's a non-Victorian side that's done that, because, we suffer enough. We suffer enough. And so that brings me to the next point, umpiring. Okay. So this can be our stat of the week.
Can I just before you move on to the stat of the week, I honestly thought, the umpires cost you that game. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Stat of the week.
Yeah. Look, the umpires were atrocious. Look, the thing was, and I don't know if there's any particular incident you're referring to.
Oh, there was a lot. There was 50-50s all went the Bulldogs' way.
Yeah.
It just looked like all the...
There was.
The ones that, could have been let go or, could have gone your way, went their way.
If we still win that game, I'm disappointed because it wallpapers the cracks, and I don't think it addresses the problems. So, as someone that's more... look, I am a one-eyed Crow supporter. I love my team. I love seeing my team win. I don't want them to win the wrong way. And that would have been a wrong way to win in terms of getting out of jail, because the Bulldogs were the best side.
You know what? You will have games where you get out of jail, and that's just part of it.
It is. But
it's part of what happens.
Early season, this is feedback against a quality team. You don't want that to be swept under the carpet and go, "Yeah, we got the win." It's not a big deal.
The coaches wouldn't sweep it under the carpet. They'd know exactly what was going on. Go on, get on to your stat.
So this has come from the Western Australian who's picked it up, so it's not South Australian bias. We're South Australian.
It's just the Western Australian newspaper.
Yeah. So every game in round 2 was between a Victorian club and so this is... Oh, the wording here is terrible. Yeah. Every game in round 2 was between a Victorian club and a non-Victorian club, and the Victorian club won the free kick count in every single one of those games. Now, I don't know how Essendon ends up winning the free kick count in your game, because they were second to the poll and absolutely deplorable, but somehow they've won the free kick count.
So let me give you the free kicks. So we'll go back to Thursday night, Hawthorn and the Swans, 27-16. So that's 11 in a game that was decided by 17 points.
Yeah.
Did we then move to your game? It was 23 Bulldogs, 18 Crows in a game that was 6 points. All right. So that's a disparity of what? 5?
Yeah.
We moved to the Richmond Suns game played in Melbourne. That was a disparity of 2 free kicks towards Richmond, but that was a smashing. That's 68 points. So that really
How does that happen?
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, a bit like our game.
Yeah.
This is the one that concerned me a little bit because I actually thought the Giants got ripped off against St Kilda. It's a disparity of 2 free kicks towards St Kilda, 17 to 19, 19 to 17, St Kilda's way. Fremantle and Melbourne, which was 58 points. There was only 1 free kick towards Melbourne. Again, that's a smashing, and the team that lost was ahead in the free kicks. Our game was 4 free kicks, and that was obviously 63 points towards Essendon. And the last game was obviously West Coast and North Melbourne, and that was 1 free kick extra to North Melbourne in a 17 points.
Yeah, you can swallow that one. But like your game, the Gold Coast game and
The Hawthorn. Oh no, not Hawthorn. The
I've lost track now. How does that happen? How does sides that's a horrible win the free
Fremantle was the other one. That was a smashing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I tend to look at, Gold Coast and Richmond was another one that was 68 points. So yeah, that was Look, I don't know. And Richmond traditionally aren't a team that get free kicks.
Yeah,
they always seem to sit at the bottom of the free kick.
And,
Yeah, so.
the stat that comes out of all of that is the chance of that actually happening. All of those games with Victorians against non-Victorian teams, I'm not going to call them interstate teams because interstate refers as it's their competition.
Yeah.
1.5625%. And that's basically a 1 in 64 chance of happening.
1 in 64 chance.
And I reckon if that happens again in the AFL, it doesn't feel like a 1 in 64 chance of happening.
It
feels like maybe 2 in 10.
Well, I don't know the next time you'll see all.
Yeah. It shouldn't.
Victorian Cups.
By nature of this, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, all those out there that go, you're crying, South Australians crying West Australians.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit.
I totally agree with you. It's So let's move on. I think this is an easy question. I was going to pose this question to you last week, but we didn't get around to it.
We should make this one into a segment because I know where you're going. Let's do the favorite. Let's call it the sack race.
The sack race.
Sack race. Who do we think? Because we're going into awards now. So we've done start of the week. Now we're going to do sack race.
Sack race.
Leader of the sack race.
So who do you think will be the
Let's
first?
nominate.
Let's first coach.
Sacked.
Sacked.
So you've put 3 names on the board, and I cannot disagree with either any of them.
I think only one's the obvious one.
Yeah.
And I think we both agreed when I put them up there, which one we both thought was the obvious one. But we'll go backwards. We'll go Clarko.
Yeah.
Michael Voss.
Yeah.
Or Brad Scott.
Yeah.
Now, we both agreed Brad Scott.
Brad Scott.
Now, I said to you, Clarko's gone backwards. Like, a great win last week, and then to head over to WA and lose like that was terrible. Voss, that team's going nowhere.
No.
It barely been able to get over.
Well, the fact that they're talking to opposition coaches,
that's it. Yeah,
not great.
Worries me. But 16 straight. I was absolutely dumbfounded when I heard Essendon had lost 16. I had to go check to make sure that was correct.
Yeah.
They were playing some good footy last year.
But it's also the way he's talking about them in post-match press conferences. I don't know about you.
He's very,
He's trying to get funky with how he's presenting bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what it is.
So let me ask you the question. I've got their next 10 games. I think I know the question. I think I know the answer to the question. But let me pose one thing to you. They've got North Melbourne this week. Do they beat North Melbourne? Okay. The following week, they've got the Bulldogs.
That could be the game that he gets sacked.
Well, it could be. I'm with you. I think that's the one if they're going to pull the pin.
But also, imagine if North Melbourne lose. Yeah. How bad is that?
Well, that's what makes that game so important.
Yeah.
Because the rumblings before the beginning of the season with Clarko and the board and the CEO and the president all being sacked, and that's why I think they came out as hard as what they did against Port.
Yeah.
Was to secure that all the leadership roles. All that went out the window when they lost to West Coast.
Yeah.
Every single bit of that gone. So that's why I think he's back in the hot seat. Mm-hmm. And Voss, even with the week off, the heat's not off him because everybody's going to be sitting around waiting.
Well, that Tigers win was so underwhelming.
Yeah, it was. It was terrible.
Yeah.
showed nothing, to be honest with you.
And who have they got this week? Have you looked ahead?
I did. I didn't
Stand out. Yeah.
But let me give you their next.
Essendon.
So Essendon. So then they got the Bulldogs.
Yep.
That's all.
Spanked.
All right.
Potentially.
They play Melbourne at Adelaide Oval, so that's the other way.
Yeah.
50-50 for me, but they don't travel. I said this to you last week. They don't travel, and I don't think I'll win that one against Melbourne. That's that's at Adelaide Oval, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've got the Suns on the Gold Coast. Forget about it. Anzac Day, Collingwood.
Yeah, I don't see him getting this far. I really don't. Because let's say he somehow survives this week against North in terms of they lose, but he survives. Bulldogs are coming off a bye. They're
getting spanked.
Yeah, that's a big time spanking potentially. So do you
Brisbane-
think he gets this far? Do you think he gets that far?
Well, no, I'm just telling you who their next game.
Yeah, that's
So this doesn't ease up.
disastrous.
Now,
No.
Brisbane, who knows what we're going to get? Well,
Oh, that should be okay by then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Players back.
But Brisbane,
Yep.
GWS in Sydney.
Yep.
Fremantle at the MCG. Then I think they've got their two biggest chances to win, which is the Dreamtime at the Gym against Richmond. And then they go to Perth for West Coast, but that's no.
Exactly.
That's no.
And Richmond will be up for that game because there's not many games you'd pencil Richmond in for a win. They'd be chomping at the bit with that one.
So that's their next 10.
Yeah.
Now, there is 3 50-50s and one maybe that I see.
But the 50-50s come late. So good
Well,
luck.
North Melbourne, I think North Melbourne's a 50-50. So they've got the chance next week to actually save Brad Scott's job. It's just whether or not they're up for it.
I don't see it. I mean, there will be a response, but North, there'll be a response from North.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So look, as to your question as to who, I looked at North's, and North's got an easy one. It's no, they've got chances to win, 5 out of their next 10 if they're good enough.
Yeah.
Carlton, I did look at Carlton, and they've got a bit of a up and down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They play us and Gather Round. Good luck.
Yep.
That's the only one I know.
So look, I'd honestly think
Brad Scott's favourite. So this week, Brad Scott, you're our favourite for what do we call it again? Sack race.
The sack race. Yeah.
Now, there's another segment we've got. Brand new segment. We're going to roll them out next week, but no better week than this week, eh? And that is the favourite saying of last year, fake tough. Fake tough of the week. Now, since you put a couple of nominees up for the board, I've got a third one. So roll out your two, and then I'll roll out mine.
So I've got Fremantle's Voss, who did the old rub
nominee.
Yeah, rub you on the head, and there'll be no consequences other than the AFL coming out and giving me a fine.
Yeah.
If that had happened back in my day, back in the 70s, 80s, mate, you'd be lying flat on your back looking at the stars. And Harley B, what are you doing, mate? Coming in to remonstrate after your teammate kicks a goal, ending up flat on your back and then letting your teammates take the fines for you while you're rolling around like a twit, pretending to be hurt. You just... Who's yours? Because Harley Week's my...
You've got Harley Reid.
Absolute fake tough.
So mine is, and when you say it, because we didn't talk about it before we come on air.
Yeah.
And I was going to talk about it in the Crows game, and I thought, no, this is good enough for my nominee for fakes of the week. It's the golden child of the AFL. Now, do you know where I'm Darcy? Darcy, old mate Darcy.
Sam Darcy
gives away a 100-meter penalty.
Yeah.
For God knows what. Yeah. For old mate Butts absolutely spanking the absolute backside of Darcy. Now, never in a million years did I think that Jordan Butts would kick his first AFL goal
off a 100-meter penalty.
Well, no, he missed that.
Oh,
he actually missed that one.
That's right, he missed that.
He kicked a beautiful one from about 50 out. Ridiculous. Yeah. But old mate Butts kicks his first AFL goal and cancels out what Darcy does for the game. So they both finish on a goal each. Yeah. So that's my fake tough for the week. So old mate Darcy having a fit, getting spanked. Well, it's just more so the fact that he's getting spanked by Butts. So takes his frustration out.
Cool.
Didn't need to do it. that could have ended up costing them the game.
Well,
It ends up kicking that.
right,
It's a different ball game.
Yeah, you're right. You're spot on. And if he ends up kicking that 100,
Yeah,
that
could be the
tightened
game.
up very,
Yeah.
very, very tightly. So
But I reckon we'll go with yours for the week. So at the end of the year, we'll go with the fake tough winner of the year.
we'll have your
So Charlie Reid is our round
two
two nominee.
round two nominee.
We'll have to backdate round zero.
We'll have the whole Port side as round one fake tough. I think that could be the nominee for round one.
I don't know.
I play.
I don't know. We'll have to go back and look at that. Yeah.
Uh,
So, anything else in the footy world?
Well, some interesting games. I thought.
Yeah.
Too early. Everybody's jumping on the Suns at the moment. They seem to think that they're
Well, if they play Geelong, that's it.
Geelong. Yeah,
Geelong look like, because you take in the first quarter of Fremantle, it looked like they haven't got their shit together yet.
Yeah.
And again, like, they seem to come alive later in that game. So maybe they came in underdone.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Chris Scott's been around long enough to know that you don't need to be peaked.
That's it. You don't need to be
round zero.
We
need to buy anyway.
That's right. We saw this with Brisbane last year. What they win? What was it? They lost their first 5 or whatever. They had a poor start. Everybody said they had the premiership hangover. There was all that problem with Vegas.
And people writing them off this year. They've got how many players missing through suspension and injury?
Yeah.
And they're sitting on a bye last weekend. So why would you be peaking?
No, you don't need to. And this is what I've always said. I'd rather be 4 and 6 or, whatever. It might be 5 and 6 at the midway point, 11 games. So we played 23, then be, 11-0 and then end up finishing off the year 1 and 10.
And let's face it,
it's ridiculous to me to think that early. Everybody jumps on early form. Early form means nothing. It's the back end that counts.
And for a team that we nominated, nearly every week last year for Fake Tough, they beat Gold Coast in the elimination final, but jury's still out. And Petrarca's out injured for what? Another 6?
Oh, he's going to be 6.
Yeah. So there's another string of ding ding.
Yeah, another one.
So
there's a few of them on the weekend.
I'm not on that Gold Coast.
Well, look, it's going to be a watch. They definitely look better than last year. I have to say, from what I've watched a couple of the games so far, and I think they do look like they've improved. They're that next level.
Yeah, injuries is going to be a big one. And you look at the team that's probably one of the best, and that's the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
who's missing from that team? You'd struggle to go. Oh yeah, he's missing.
No one. What's his name? From what's his name? He'll come to me anyway. So we got a big Sheffield Shield final starting Thursday. What do you expect? Flat track.
What's the weather look like? Because I know that there's a cool change coming here.
There is a cool change coming here, and it's looking like it's probably going to be no rain but cold.
Okay. But by the time it gets to Victoria, they can sometimes get rain, but we don't.
Yeah. One is at the Junction Oval.
Yeah. Look, because it will go 5 days, given it's at the Junction Oval. But if you miss a day, then it's draws favourite. Draws favourite.
So
it's going to be hard to beat the Vixen for.
It is. It's going to be, and then they're at full strength, and I don't think we're quite there. So, look, I'm with you. I hope they don't just roll out
a sporting pitch. A little bit in it.
Have something. Yeah, give us something to look forward to than just some flat.
It's going to be trench warfare, though. Let's face it. It's trench warfare of the highest. And, Scott Boland will be a huge factor in how we play Scott Boland. In recent times, we've done relatively okay. Yeah.
Did you see the statue unveiling?
Cardboard cutout.
It wasn't that cringeworthy. Oh my God.
Yeah,
and what were they think?
They put a teaser up for that. Stay tuned. We've got a special announcement, and then to roll out the cardboard.
What were they thinking? It was just when I saw it, I thought,
well, let's hope that's the first blooper of the week.
Well, yeah. Look,
shit form leads into shit form.
They go in confident.
They will. They will.
It'll take a mighty effort to go back to back.
Yeah.
Look, and you were shocked they were there. I
I
wasn't
am.
as shocked that they were there, but yeah, you were definitely like,
Well, the way they started the season,
Yeah,
it's a bit
I
like
agree.
the AFL.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a marathon sprint, but there's only 10 games. So
Yeah.
AFL, you've got 23 odd games to get your shit together.
yeah. But I think a few teams helped us out by collapsing in the final week.
They did. I mean, Queensland
Right,
were pretty
Queensland.
much in pole position for most of the season, and they fell away.
Yeah.
And that was when they got their better players back.
Yeah, exactly.
Kawaja and Labuschagne.
Yeah.
God, hasn't Labuschagne really cooked himself?
Which just shows you, sometimes if you're performing with what you got, you're better off continuing along that. But
Yeah.
I don't know if
But
it's
you
in
think-
harmony or what it is, but sometimes
Yeah.
I think when you bring the big stars back, sometimes the other blokes can go,
But a lot of
they're
where
back.
Queensland came from that early season form of Labuschagne.
Mhm.
And he got
Yeah,
called
sure,
up.
Sure.
And when he come back,
Yeah.
he didn't find that form.
Can't find
It's
it.
gone.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, well, he had something to play with, play for at the beginning of the season, didn't he?
yeah, he
He
did.
was looking for a spot and he needed some form and he was,
But now, right, it's a packed summer next summer. You send me what's going on next summer.
Yeah.
He wants to be part of those 7 test matches at home. But then the Indian tour, you know, at the end of our summer, you want to be a part of that. You want to be there. He's going to need to put up. Even still, let's say he puts up early season form. Can you trust to pick him? Given he was dropped, and I don't think he was part of this summer's plans. But then he had that early run of forms where they went, okay, well then we've got to give him that run.
Yeah.
And then he's failed, the back end of the summer domestically. Do you give him a run?
I don't know.
Scores?
See, it's that'll be determined by.
Because surely he doesn't go to South Africa.
No, I agree with you, but that'll be determined by who they think is next man up. Because you're not only losing Kawaja now, you've not only lost Kawaja, you've now lost Labuschagne. So that makes that top 4 really, I don't want to say weak, but you need to be really decisive on who you want to be at opening and 3. With Head, if it is Head, his Head is to stay as your opener.
Well, it looks like it because he ran it South Australia.
So who's opening with him? It's not Jack. As much as we love Jackie, it's not Jack.
Well, they're going to have to.
So who's the other?
So it's either Weatherall. I thought Renshaw was in the mix.
Yep.
His form's fallen away though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're going to have to take a punt.
So who's that's the thing. And then if you're not even sure who's going to be opening, who's your 3 if Labuschagne's? So I can actually see them going, hang on, we've just lost Kawaja. We're not sure who the other opener is going to be. We need to stick with Marcus. I could actually see that be.
You're not wrong.
It's not.
I can't agree. What the hell happens there?
Well, I don't. What if he starts showing something? Yeah, maybe he goes to 3. Yeah, sure.
I don't know. They've got major selection.
And then they play Bo. You play Bo and Webster in green spot.
But then you could sort of
That's 6 or 7.
a McSweeney type to come back in,
Yeah.
bat him in his normal position of 3.
Yeah.
Or if they wanted to be ballsy, put him up at an opener again.
Yeah.
Look, give Sanger a go.
Well, these are the questions.
Yeah.
I mean, who's next man up? We just don't have any idea. There's no heir apparent.
No.
This has been, and especially at the opening position, Head shouldn't even be opening. Let's face it, that's not his spot. But he seems to be happy to do it, and as long as he's happy to do it, and he's scoring runs, they'll leave him there.
No opener banging down the doors.
No, there isn't, and that's the problem. Like this, I don't want to say that the country's going backwards as far as
we are. That's
as far as batsmen are going, but we seem to have a glutton of opening batsmen for the shorter forms.
Yeah.
But when it actually comes to a good test opening batsman, we struggle to find who's next man up.
Yeah, I mean, this.
So
I could potentially go, okay, well, there's Kellaway from Victoria.
Yeah.
Young, but again,
he's been.
How many young kids do you want to keep
That's it.
pumping in?
That's it.
Because I look at what happens to Constas and
I was going to say, what's happened to Constance?
Yeah. And, oh, God,
So,
you see his numbers from the year? Lots of 30s, lots of 40s.
Yeah. He's
So
getting starts.
That's
And
right.
It's not too bad.
Getting there, yeah.
That's not too bad. Sometimes you just got to get past those starts. And that's the thing with Travis. Early on, he was finding it hard to get out of the 20s, out of the 30s, out of the 40s. Now he's actually achieved that, and it took a good 4 years.
So then, would you be against rolling back Constas and having Travis Head take him under his wing as
They have to do something. They have to just pick someone. They can't do this revolving door.
So I actually would make that call.
Yeah.
Because the bloke that Costas has gone back and he's batted conservatively. He's tried.
Yeah.
Now the time is, okay, well, you noted that Travis had started young, had those same sort of failures of getting lots of starts and not kicking on with it. Who better to support him through that next phase of his career?
Yeah.
You know, Travis, I agree, be around forever.
That's it. I agree with you. But if you got to do it, you got to do it now.
Yeah, and back him in.
That's it.
Back him in. Because, you know, I can only think of positives. His left-hand, right-hand combination.
Yeah.
You know, two batsmen that are bowling attacks, because I don't care if Constance failed and that's what got him out of the team. People know.
Yeah.
That innings Boomer, where he's
that's it.
First freaking ramping
But
over.
the minute, see, the thing with that was that was unexpected. The minute Boomer knew what was coming, and it happened in the Shield game.
But now it's unexpected because he's not going down.
That's right.
Yeah.
But as soon as they knew what he was attempting to do, bang, it was open.
Yeah.
They knew exactly where to pitch the ball, and he was trying to ramp a ball that was on middle stump, and he was ended up, see it later. So it doesn't work. He was better off, and someone's gotten in his ear and said to him, "You need to go back to your game, son." And that was good defensive.
Yeah,
score some runs, plod along, whatever it was. So it would definitely be an interesting watch.
It will. Yeah.
So we head to
England
in 2027 in the middle of the year to play Ashes, and guess who their coach will be?
The guy that promised an Ashes win.
An Ashes win against the weakest
Australian soil,
weakest Australian team since what was it, 2003?
And he spent the last 6-7 years building towards
and picking that team 2 years out.
And it's not just an Ashes loss; it's a 4-1 trouncing. And the only win that they got was on an absolute lottery of a pitch where, it's one of those things. You put the ball in the right area and you get lucky.
So what do you think? This has been 3-4 years in a row now. I can think of that the MCG's put out an absolute minefield.
Yeah.
What do you think of them getting the 150th commemorative, whatever you want to call it?
It was never going to be anywhere else just because of crowd numbers. That's it. It's just...
Yeah, I think that's sad, dude, because that pitch is terrible. They don't prepare it right. It's been a minefield for 3 or 4 years. Yeah. It was almost banned. It was that bad one year that they almost banned it. And they warned them that if it happened again, they were going to lose the Boxing Day test. That's how bad it got. And the following year, it wasn't much better, but somehow they managed to raise.
Well, they've got a turn before them. They've got the New Zealand test, Boxing Day test. So,
look, I don't know. That's a big risk for me from Australia.
But it's also the interesting thing is it's at the back end of the summer, so we're going to go through that dry January period where
maybe
it's going to be harder to produce as spicy a pitch.
And then what happens if we get 5 days of rain? See you later.
I don't think we will. We're coming off the back of El Nino, so we've entered El Nino. So drought season. I reckon we're in for a drought season. I'm not here.
Thank you, Jay Riley.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Let's move on to something that was even funnier during the week. The 36.
That was
absolute shocker, capitulation, call it what you will. Shutdown of Bryce Cotton. What is going on? They've seen this team go at Bryce Cotton all season, and yet they still haven't found a way to do something to release him so he can get a free shot.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfathomable to me that he's still being shut down this cleanly by this team.
Here's the thing. I think it's very lucky for the 36ers that there was an election this weekend. Because Matildas had his mind on other things. Getting re-elected, he's out. Because if it had not been election week and it had been any other week, I think Matildas would have shut the borders and not allowed the 36ers to come back in, because that was a pathetic performance and they let the state down enormously.
It was terrible.
Yeah, things were hard.
Yeah.
Kings played a good defense. They were up. There's no doubt about it. But you've put on the board collapse. It was almost a surrender.
Yeah.
A white flag stuff, because they did not put in at any stage of that game where it looked like we were going to shave away some of that margin.
Yep.
It just got worse and it got worse and it got worse. I was expecting to see at least a little bit of fight in that third quarter.
Yeah, nothing.
You're not going to win the game, but you're looking to put up some sort of performance, and it didn't. It didn't come. The white flag went up instead, and that's not good enough.
No, I agree with you. And Friday's acid test for me.
Yeah.
This could be a sweep. I don't see this going any other way.
Yeah.
Then Sydney in 3.
Look, if
So
the 36 don't come out and they don't win this game, it's going to go to Sydney. They're going to clean it up. Sweep.
they will.
Mike Wells loses his job.
Absolutely.
It's game over. We talk sack race.
Yeah.
If we could apply that to all sports, I think he's in front of Brad Scott.
He was totally outcoached. Let's face it. He was absolute. Well, with Brad Scott loses this weekend,
yeah. But
our head
almost
Mike
think,
Wells.
yeah, because
And you know, I always go back to the beginning of the season. When they announced Mike Wells as the coach, we were both up. We were talking, this guy's.
well, he's so highly rated
That's
in
it.
NBA. In
Yes.
NBA.
So how did it go just so poorly so quickly? Like, it looks like he's lost the players.
He has, yeah.
He's arguing with Bryce Cotton on the sideline. He reckons that's healthy because he reckons that gives his players the right to come at him if they don't think what's going on is right. He did not look happy when Cotton came at him. He did not.
No, he shut his mouth, looked sheepish.
That's right. So he was, yeah.
But then Vasiljevic come out and said that they had spoken about that pre-game about keeping their heads and not allowing.
Yeah.
So here's the coach that's setting that, writing it up on the whiteboard, and what is he doing? Breaking his own rule.
Yeah.
What sort of precedence does that set for the rest of his team?
Yeah.
And so Vasiljevic says we're just holding the coach to the same account. And when you hear words like that, that's not.
No.
That's not really not.
He came out and said they had to change something up against Southeast Melbourne. And he thought starting DJ was the right. It was a surprise, and he thought that was the right way to go, and it worked. Now, I don't know whose idea it was. He takes credit for it, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's like, he's the coach. He could have said, no, I don't want to do that. So obviously, he was willing to do it. So great. And we all get up and we all think this is the final series we want, and then they dish that bullshit up.
Yeah.
Absolute crap. There wasn't even one positive out of it. Like, you couldn't pick anything that you saw in that game. Another game that was off by quarter time, I reckon. It was that bad. It was just shocking to watch.
Do you know what shits me off? Is when you watch the Kings and you watch Torrey Craig go around town. When we had the import issue and we changed our imports twice, that was the guy we needed.
Yeah, and we talked about that too.
The guy that can play on both ends of the floor, not just one. Jenkins cannot play defense, and that's why against Southeast Melbourne he's playing a minute. A minute. This is an import player. One of our import spots playing a minute.
Yeah.
What in the blue hell?
Yeah.
Do we want to keep talking about this?
No. Let's move on to the
more disappointment.
other disappointment. Or we can swap it. We can go to Adelaide. How about we go to Adelaide?
No, let's get the disappointment out and we'll finish strong on
Did you see the Tillies grand final? That was
I didn't
another blown opportunity.
But I read about it. And
peppered. And just this is what we talked about in the rounds before we hit the finals, where it looked like they found something and they were putting goals in the back of the net, although they were still missing a few. But that final, they easily, and I reckon easily could have had Japan 4-1, 4-2. Easy. Because Japan looked like they were just happy just to sit back, let the Tillies miss. If they scored, then they would attack. Japan were happy but just to sit back and just 1-0 was fine. They didn't care. They had the lead.
Yeah, they did. They didn't,
but they
exert themselves.
No, did not. And they just peppered and couldn't get anywhere. It was spray after spray after spray.
Yeah.
Celebrate them, sure, but don't let them. The one thing I hate in sport is when we celebrate a team that fails because we love them. And sometimes that gives the players the right to think, well, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. They're still going to love us. And that's not who you play for.
No.
And you don't get to a point in a major tournament, and no matter what you say, Asian Cup for us is a major tournament.
It is. Yeah.
To lose the grand final, you need to get in there and you need to finish the job. And that's where they're lacking. They're just lacking that polish at the end.
I was about to say cutting edge for both men's and women's. We lack
that polish.
But when because we've now got that Dutch system where, underage games in soccer, there's no goal scoring.
Yeah.
It's all about passing and keeping involved. When are we going to learn that that's counterproductive?
It is. Yeah, it doesn't work.
You know, let's play an Australian way. Let's forge our own path. And
Hmm.
the Australian way that I grew up playing was very English, but very physical.
And that was the problem, though.
Yeah.
They realised they had to get that out of the game, the Australian game, because we were being penalised anytime we went to a major tournament and seen as the physical side.
Who gives a shit?
So, but it's no good if you don't even touch the bloke and you're already getting a free kick against you because they're rolling around on the ground. And the replays show that you were nowhere near them.
Yeah.
But the umpire just says, "Oh, they're physical. You must have tapped it." So they then found out they had to, because this was during those 90s. I don't know if you're old enough, 90s, early 2000s, where they started
played Iran.
game.
Yeah, we got kicked out of a World Cup because of Iran rolling on
the floor because the umpires just said, "Well, Australia's physical. You must have got it." So they realised then we can't.
But look at
this Australian.
Okay, so look at the quality in that team.
Yeah,
look at the quality in the early thousands when you had Viduka, Q.
Yeah.
They could play with the ball at their feet, but they played, strongly.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. Lucas Neal, for goodness sakes.
Yeah,
as strong as anyone got.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Popovich himself.
I agree with you. I don't know how we went from the Tillies to the men's side.
Yeah. Cutting edge.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, because I think the same does play to the women's team. Yeah, you got Sam Kerr.
Yeah.
Brilliant with
She had a good tournament.
Yeah, and she did. But she's still not.
She's not 100, but she's had a good tournament.
So, yeah, you're lacking the cutting edge. So, what can we...
And you're right. We need to... That final polish is where we mostly found that.
Yeah. So, whatever we did raising Sam Kerr, we've got to rectify it for everyone and develop them in the same way.
Yeah.
But we'll close it up there because I do want to talk about cutting edge.
Yeah.
And that's Adelaide United scoring 4 on the weekend.
Absolutely.
But also, Luka Jovanovic scored 2.
Yeah.
Now,
the scores 2.
Why is he not in conversation with the national side that's going to be playing Cameroon at the end of the month?
Yeah.
Why is he not there? If he was playing for Sydney, Melbourne Victory, Melbourne United, he's in the squad.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to start play, but in the
on
squad.
The bench. Yeah.
Why is he not there?
Don't know. You have to ask the coach while he's not the manager, whatever you want to call him, while he's not there. I'm with you. I think he deserves a spot, at least in the team. Doesn't mean he gets on the ground, but I think he deserves a spot in the team. Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I did you watch the game?
I did.
It was a good game.
It was.
We have to remember we're playing
bottom side,
and we let 2 in, which was a bit disappointing to be honest with you.
It is, but I don't mind if you score 4.
Yeah.
Oh, we had these conversations last year.
Yeah. And we our biggest concern going into the year, because we spoke about this, was could they get enough away wins? And I think away they've been
travelling pretty well for the side.
Yeah, they've been travelling really well. So in 4th at the moment on goal difference, so equal with Melbourne Victory. So it could Newcastle are a mile in front. No one's catching them, and then you got Auckland.
And they are flying Newcastle, don't get me wrong, but they're still a young team.
They are.
And I'd love to be able to get myself an opportunity, and I'm talking about Adelaide United here, to have a crack at them late, because who knows when you get to a final series.
Well, that's it. That was going to be my next point. I don't think the 3 teams above us are that far ahead that I would fear.
We went and played Melbourne Victory a few weeks ago on their home day, and we probably should have won that.
We should have, yeah.
So, if we had to draw them away in a finals game, I'm not concerned.
Yeah. The likelihood is if it goes the way it is now, we'd be playing Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Auckland would have the victory. Like the Tourette's.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting watch. They've got to maintain this though.
They maintain the rage.
What is it? Trying to think. Is there 4 games, something like that? There's not many left anyway. So we're almost at the end.
Yeah. I just want to leave Adelaide United a minute. We haven't got this on the board, and it's probably something we probably should talk about. Christian Volpato, did you hear about him?
No.
So he was the striker that's coming up through the ranks. He's either Italian or Australian. He was born here, and he plays for, I think it's Sassuolo.
Sassuolo. Yeah.
He's struggling for minutes. So he has turned down the opportunity to play for Australia,
Mm.
which I thought is a very interesting call because he's trying to leave his options open for that Italian call up. Now, I can't see while Popovich is in charge him getting another opportunity to play for Australia because he
So
said,
you think he's dashed? That's it.
yeah, I think he's done his dash.
Okay.
Which leads me to because again we're looking for strikers at that level.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity of being Italian,
Italy every day.
Italy,
Every day.
even if they're not making World Cups,
Doesn't matter.
even if you're not
Doesn't matter.
like you're,
Doesn't matter. You're
Okay.
not listening. Doesn't matter.
so, but you're only a.
Would you rather say you played if you
Well, I,
had international?
Yeah.
Think international,
Yeah.
not just home, international. And you think on your resume you put Italy national side. Do you think that would be better than putting Australian national side? To me, that ranks Italy national side ranks up here and Australian ranks down here. For me.
yeah,
Now,
I know.
now that's my parents.
Yeah.
Obviously my parents' birth. That's how I was raised. That's how I was brought up. That's how I went through school. It's different now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more pride in being born Australian, and I have a lot of pride in being Australian.
Except when it comes to the Australian
But-
cricket team and obviously soccer.
Well,
now.
then that has nothing to do, that has nothing to do with that. That's just how, because
I'm
when
messing
I
with
was
you.
young, I saw
Yeah.
the West Indies.
yeah,
I fell in
yeah,
love.
in their pomp.
Yeah.
Absolute pomp.
So look, and I don't know. There's just something about saying. To me, there would be something about saying you played for the Italian national side.
Look, I get it, but if you're only a small, really, really small chance, you're
Yeah.
going to turn that down, opportunity to play at the World Cup.
Yeah.
You're still turning it down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So look,
keep my options open, yeah.
How-
Because the minute I played
Yeah.
for Australia, it's over.
so I'm interested to know, like, I don't know if it's the grandma or your great grandma that you can sort of
Has
like
to be a grandparent.
qualification.
Has
Okay,
to be
so
a
it's a grandparent.
Has to be a grand.
So I could potentially qualify for Scotland.
That's what could.
Ireland, and I just miss out on the Italian because my great grandma on my dad's side is Italian.
It's Italian, really.
But if I had that opportunity, let's say it does qualify, I could qualify for Italy. Now I'm further removed from what you are because you're
Yeah.
first generation
Yeah.
Australian. I still turn it down for the opportunity to go to the World Cup.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about going to a World Cup. We're talking about playing for a national side.
Yeah, I know, but
So, you know.
you commit to Italy.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee because
Yeah,
again, you've got
that's
to be
only
elite because elite.
That's only because of the way FIFA ranks, does their soccer. Like, I still don't understand how Brazil, who lost 4 games, and Italy lost 1 game, and because they finished second in their group, ends up missing out. And
Yeah.
Brazil ends up going through to a World Cup.
But let's not forget.
having lost 4 games compared
Yeah.
to Italy's 1.
Yeah, it's that they've got to correct that. But
That's crazy to me. Like, and it wasn't like Italy played a pack of donkeys.
yeah,
They had France in their group. It was, to me, FIFA's got this totally wrong because they want to be so inclusive and having all these other countries involved.
yeah,
Who
European
are going nowhere. These countries aren't getting anywhere.
You know,
Put your powerhouses in there and let's watch the game being played at its best.
but we're talking about donkeys here. Donkeys, right? Well, here's old mate Volpato, who's a donkey.
He might be a donkey, but you know what? And look, I gave up the opportunity. I played volleyball as a kid, and I gave up the opportunity to play at the highest level in the state because I only wanted to play for one team. That was it. Their name was Northern Aurora. They were the best. They had 5 of the Australian national team playing from, and this was here in South Australia.
Yeah.
Right. And their name was Northern Aurora. And I could have played for Austria. I could have played for a lot of teams. But I said, no, I only want to play for this club. And I never got the opportunity because I was stubborn. The same thing happened when I was playing for Woodville, or it was Woodville Packers back then. I wanted to play for Port. That was it. So you're talking to someone who stood by, no, if I'm playing this game, if I'm playing AFL, if I'm playing footy, I want to play for Port Adelaide. I'm not playing for Woodville Packers, who spent 10 years at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
That's not where I want to be playing footy. So you're talking to the wrong person here because I stood by my convictions, didn't play at the highest level for volleyball or football because I only wanted to play for the best teams. And they already had enough players who were playing.
Yeah.
So they didn't need me. Neither side needed me. But I still stood by that and didn't in no way cheapen myself. And I would have thought that was cheapening myself to be playing the games because I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I would have always been envious of the fact I wanted to be over there and I'm stuck over here. So I think, from my point of view, if that's what he wants to do, he has to.
Yeah, well, that's it. And with Popovich coming out and saying, well, you choose the shirt or I'm not picking you.
Yeah, well, that's...
Yeah, I can't see Popovich leaving after the World Cup. He's going to be on for the next couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a long-term.
You know, and look, and things change sometimes. Maybe he might come hat in hand and say, look, I was wrong. I was young. I was immature.
Yeah.
You know, I now see the error of my ways, and if you give me the opportunity, I won't let you down.
It's how the Italian people talk about Valpano. They're not a big fan. I mean,
no,
they're aware of the battle that's going on for his commitment, but the way they talk about him, he's a bench player.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's it.
Yeah,
and that's probably about right too.
He's no Luca Toni or Christian Vieri. I was going to say that's worth fighting over.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? You want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap that up. So I just want to ask you a question, Luke.
Liam.
I thought you were my son. So
What's up?
What's up?
Oh, I don't know.
Petrol prices, mate. See you later.